What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Moose Tracks podcast. My name is Moose. I'm the host of this podcast. So basically what I do is just turn on a mic, sit with my friends. We have fun conversations that you guys will probably have at your couch on home. Today I'm sitting with my boy Dominic. How are we doing today, Dom?
What's going on, guys?
And as you guys may know from our promo episode, I am from Boston. Well, from Revere, 10 minutes outside of Boston. And Dominic is from Danvers, which is like 15, 20 minutes?
20 minutes. About
20 minutes
miles.
outside. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about what it's like being from Boston, being from the North Shore. I bet a lot of people that are tuning into this can actually relate because, you know, they're from around here. Hopefully, if you're not from around here, I'm sorry, but you're going to get to know a bit more about us. So let's just jump right into it. Let's not waste any time. I think the main thing that we need to talk about and start first is where we grew up in our cities. So Revere is different from Danvers in a sense. And I would say sure. Danvers is even though we're not far, we're like 15 minutes
right.
at the most. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I took long to get here because I was driving slow, but like we're literally like 15 minutes apart. But I can say growing up in Revere, like, you know, being 10 minutes outside of the city of Boston was just like absolutely amazing. Literally had access to everything. There was, you know, like the train, you can drive there. Like there's even like a ferry from Winthrop, I'm pretty sure, that takes you into Boston so many ways. And, you know, in my sense, I like Boston. I really like being from here. I mean, I've been to New York and other big cities, and they just it hasn't matched to my, you know, liking of Boston. I don't know. I think it's just like because it's right on the water, and like I don't know, maybe just like the people. I feel like the people get a bad rap.
Yeah,
that
you're
they're
right.
like
we're all nice people.
We're all really nice. I don't know why people think people from Boston are like aggressive. I say we're passionate.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean? That's perfect, man. That's great.
We
are passionate people.
I really do think it's passion. People just get like intimidated by that. They're like, "Whoa, relax, man."
That's fair.
But you know, so being from Danvers, what can you say about that? Do you think that's sort of similar to mine?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, we're kind of close to New Hampshire, so we are like close to like North Conway and other things like that. Yeah. That's where my family went to like vacation and stuff, which was great. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say it's pretty much similar to Revere.
Yeah, exactly.
Just it's obviously smaller because it's more rural.
Yeah.
Than a city.
Yeah, exactly. And we're in the North Shore area technically.
Right,
that's that we knew we're from the same area. So yeah, going to New Hampshire, that's not hard at all either. We don't have to drive that far because we're literally like right there. We're almost right next to the border. So that was always a cool thing growing up too. It's like we can go to Boston if we want to. We can actually escape the city and go into New Hampshire and chill in the cabin.
Right.
Algonquin, Maine is my favorite place in the world. I literally, if I could own a house there, I would. That is the best escape, and it's not far from us at all.
Every 4th of July, I can't speak. Every 4th of July, my family goes to Algonquin, excuse me, and we sit on the beach and watch the fireworks. Unfortunately, this year we had, COVID, whatever.
Unfortunately.
But you're absolutely right. I think Algonquin is gorgeous. And it's like an hour and a half?
Yeah, literally like 2 hours with traffic.
Max, right?
Yeah, if you're like stuck in traffic, then you're going for 2 hours.
It's so
it's the best. It's literally like the best thing, and like I love that because I don't feel like I left home. Like I don't know how to explain. Like if you go on like a vacation, you know when you go to Florida, like you feel out of your space. When I go to Algonquin, I'm like, oh, I'm not far from home. Here. Like I can drive. Like if you really want to, you can go for the day.
Yeah.
Like if you leave early in the morning, you can go for the day and be back home at nighttime. You know what I mean? It's not far at all. So I always love that. So I think that's a good thing that, you know, that we grew up in this area because home isn't far from anything. It's not far from the city, not far from New Hampshire, Maine. It's not far from anything at all. But yeah, I can also speak about growing up in Revere. It was also pretty cool because, you know, even though my family, they originally didn't start off in Revere, they started off in the north end of Boston, which is crazy because if you go, especially on it's on Salem Street, Hanover Street. Yeah, if you go on that street, you know, where like Mike's Pastries and everything, you can't imagine living there. Like I can't. Like, there are obviously apartments and stuff, but I always just sit there and think, I'm like, wow, my parents, like, lived in this neighborhood. It's always crazy to me because it looks so old school. Like, if you've seen a Bronx Tale or any movie like that, and, like, the main street where, like, C lives on, that's what I always think of. I'm like, oh, my God, you guys lived here? They moved there, I think, when I was, like, 5, 6, so I barely, like, remember it at all.
Right.
But, you know, I would always go back with my, like, siblings, my family. We go to St. Anthony's Feast every single year. So we'd always go, and it was always funny because I think there's a difference between, like, a real Bostonian person. I would say my older brothers really have that, and like a person from like Revere or like Danvers, for example.
Sure.
Like I don't know why, I could just see it, like the way my older brothers act, the way they talk, like they have heavy Boston accents, like but being from like Revere, it's just there's slight differences. You know what I mean? They're a bit more like we said earlier, like passionate, a bit more than I am.
Sure.
I'm sort of the same way, but they're just on like a whole other level. And you know, they never say like I'm going into like, you know, if they're leaving, then they're not like, Mom, I'm going into like Hanover Street. They're like, Mom, I'm going into town. You know what I mean? Because that's what they say. I never understood. Do you call Boston the Bean?
No, I don't.
I don't say Beantown. Like every time people say, "Oh, Beantown," I'm like, "What's Beantown?"
I say it as a joke, but not like I don't refer to Boston as the Beantown.
I either say I either say like fully, I'm going into Boston today, or I'm going into town, or I'm going to town. Right. Like that's what I tell my family.
I call it the city sometimes too. Like, I'm going to the city.
Yeah, I'm going to the city.
Everyone will know. Like my family will know. Oh, it's just Boston.
Yeah, I'm going to Boston, and that's what I thought was so cool because like they would always take me with them and sort of show me like where they grew up. Yeah. Because I always forget. I'm like, oh, they didn't grow up in Revere. They grew up actually in Boston. Right. So, and it's just so different because even though Revere is a pretty big city, you know. Like there's a high school and like you know where the high school is because it's like in the middle of like the city and there's like the football field, things like that. Where they grew up, like they had to walk literally in the middle of the city 4 blocks to get to the baseball field, and like and like the high schools on the whole other side of the city, and all like a lot of private schools in that area. They went to private school in the beginning. There wasn't a lot of public schools that there probably are like public schools. I'm just saying they didn't go to them. They went to a private school. Right. But you know, I just always thought that was so cool because I'm like, wow, you guys actually, and they grew up there in the 90s, so I was like. You guys got like a real good full
like authentic
Boston experience, like literally. So I just always thought that was just so cool, and I was actually kind of happy they took me along with them. Imagine like I always find it crazy people that are like from like the North Shore area and don't leave.
Yeah,
they just stay in like
townies,
like they're straight townies. Like they go on Route 1 and that's it. They don't go past Bagel World and Peabody. They turn around and they go back home. I always just find that crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, so my mom's families, they live in Danvers their entire life. They are straight up townies. Like my mom's from Danvers High, grandparents Danvers High, but my dad's from Lynn, so like his family's from Lynn. They went to I think Lynn Tech, maybe Classical, but yeah, it's funny now we're all just in Danvers. But I think it's kind of funny, like the different lifestyle from Lynn to Danvers is also so different. Exactly,
and they're towns away, like 2 towns away, but completely different. So I think in my opinion, like Danvers, Peabody. I would even throw Saugus in there, like the back end of Saugus, sort of towards Wakefield. I think that area is more of like a suburban area.
Yeah, sure.
Compared to like, you know, Saugus right off Route 1, Lynn, Revere, Everett, Chelsea, like those. I think that's more of an urban city area.
Boston, right.
Yeah, exactly. But then, you know, like Wakefield, like, you know, all these nice towns, like you have like nice homes and like beautiful lawns. Don't get me wrong, like Revere has some nice homes too. I'm not crapping on my own city, but in my opinion, like you would find more of that sort of a bit. Is it up north? Is that
honestly? I have no idea. I'm so geographically not inclined.
I would say Danvers is
Medford. Medford. Is that near you? It's Somerville.
Yeah,
I don't know any of that area.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's going west.
I think so. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like northwest almost.
Yeah, that's going west. Every time I envision Danvers, I just think north.
That's it.
I always think Peabody, Danvers, Saugus, North. That's all north of me. Yeah, exactly. I don't know specifically where. But yeah, so I would say that area always growing up to me was just like a more like suburban area because, you know, like I could walk to like a convenience store, right down the thing. But I feel like around here, like you kind of need a car. Just to get from A to B.
Absolutely.
Do you think so?
Too.
Yeah, exactly.
With Danvers, though, I feel like we're kind of small, though. Like, maybe that's just because where I live basically downtown Danvers.
Yeah.
So I can kind of, like, bike, walk wherever I want, but definitely people, like, on the outskirts, I guess, of Danvers, like, going towards, like, Middleton or Wenham, they definitely, you need a car.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in Revere, honestly, like, even if you don't use, like the public transportation, like the bus or the train, like, everyone's walking. Yeah. Everyone's on a bike. Even if you don't have a car, people walk, like, you know, like, the train, there's Wonderland, Revere Beach, Beachmont. I would even count Suffolk Downs as Revere, even though it's East Boston. It's literally on the border of Revere. There's 4 subway stops in Revere.
I don't think we have one in Danvers. I think
even like the commuter.
I think that's Beverly.
Yeah, that is Beverly.
I don't think we have one in Danvers. To be honest, I think there's every time I would go to Beverly. To Boston.
Yeah, to go on the train. Yeah, and that's honestly, I don't even count that as a subway. That's like a commuter rail. It's a big train.
You're absolutely right.
There's 4 subway stops in Revere, so that was just crazy to me. I'm like, how is there 4? Like, because in my eyes, my city's not that big.
But compared to me, like for example, how many people did you graduate with?
500 something.
See, that's crazy to me because we're 2 towns away, and I graduated with I think probably 250.
What?
That's half of your high school.
Really? You only graduated 250?
Probably maybe close to 300, but still, like that's not nowhere close to Revere.
Yeah, we had like 5 something. It was a long graduation. I think it was like pushing 3 hours.
Yeah,
I was sitting there and like
sweat.
Thank God I was in the beginning, like, because of my last name. If I had to wait, me and you, our last names are B and C. Yeah, we don't have to wait long. But being at the end, that must have been horrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I just always found that crazy. Like we're literally 2 towns away, but even though we're so similar. Different worlds. Like I remember talking to our friends who aren't from around here, who are from like Western Mass and other parts of the state. Their way of life is like a whole other world.
It's so different
compared to ours. Like I said, even though we have our differences, like if I bring up a place on Route 1, you know what I'm talking. Like I say, Kelly's, you're like, yep, I know what that is exactly. So, but I bring it up to them, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what is that? Mm-hmm. So I always just found that so interesting to me. I'm like, wow, like we're in the same state. But like their way of life is so different. It's like they're not near a city. Nothing. They don't know what like they don't have like subways near them. Like they don't go to New Hampshire. Like they might go to like upstate New York or like Vermont or like they might go down south. But it was such a I remember it was such a culture shock when I like started hanging out with a lot of new friends in college. Just because like
I do agree.
I'm just like I kind of even though I thought I didn't think I lived like a sheltered life. I never thought I did. But in a sense I did because like I never really acknowledge it. I'm like, wow, there's more people outside of the North Shore. Like,
North Shore, we live in a bubble.
We live in a bubble. It's just, it's weird. I always loved it. Like, I don't think I would want to be raised anywhere else. I don't think I want to live in Massachusetts when I'm older. I don't want to leave, like, like, I might not live in Revere, but I would like to stay in the North Shore area. Maybe, I don't know yet.
But would you want to travel at all, though? Like maybe a little bit, or do you think you're happy here?
Like travel like on vacation, or like travel like move?
Maybe you move a different spot. Like you want to live here forever.
Yeah, I wanna have a home in the North Shore area. Specific, maybe not in my town, but
No, yeah.
Like I would think Wakefield's beautiful. Linfield's beautiful.
Yeah.
That whole area. I would not mind owning a home there. I want to have 2 homes. I want to have one in Maine or New Hampshire. I don't care either state. I'm gonna have one. But yeah, I know. I think because I travel, like I have that privilege. Like thank God. Like I go a lot of places. I kind of like having. Like, I just like where I'm from, so I was like, I want to raise my kids here. I want to grow a family. You know what I mean? As corny as that sounds.
No, I'll probably always end up back. It's like a magnet. North Shore's a magnet. You always end up from back.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to live here when you're older, or do you want to?
I do. I kind of want to bounce around. I think, like, Southern California would be cool to live in for, like, maybe a year and a half or so.
You like Southern California?
I've never been, but, like, I feel like that'd be cool.
I never been either. I feel like that'd be
cool
awesome.
Vibe.
Are we going to Southern California? We're gonna book the trip. No, I always thought that too. I talked to all my 2 seconds. I talked to all my coworkers. Literally, I'm like, "Can we go to like Laguna?" They're like, "No, what the heck?" I'm like, "What? Malibu sounds sick. Let's go." Yeah. All right, Dom, we're gonna book that. Anyways, all right. Me and Dom just went on a rant real quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, no. Wrap that up. Just being from the North Shore, I like it. Yeah, you love it. You know what I mean? I don't want to go anywhere else. We'll always come back. That's always home. But something I was saying is funny is like, are we like when we say we're from Boston? Are we from
exactly.
Boston?
This is such a fun talk. Like,
we tell our friends that, but a real Boston townie will be like, you crazy. You're not from, but you know what I mean? I was just fun. Like, my elder brothers, they don't claim me from Boston. Like, you're from Revere.
Yeah.
You had it better. I'm like, what do you mean I had it better? We grew up in the same house. Like, no. Like, we're real Bostonians. Like, that's where we're from. Yeah. So, do you think it's appropriate for us to say we're from Boston?
I honestly probably not. But let's say like we go on vacation. Like, say we go like you and me go to Florida. People like would make conversation with like someone, whatever, and like where you from? Like, we're from Boston. Like that's what I'll say. Like maybe if they're from Boston too, then I'll be like, oh, like we're from like 20 minutes north. Or for me at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But like If I'm saying like from like if we're talking to people around here,
if we go to Charlestown, then we say we're from Boston.
Not saying I'm from Boston.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're not. I think they can just see it. Like I feel like they like if you're from like Southie or like Charlestown, like that whole like they know you're not. They know you're from like the North Shore. They can just tell. You know what I mean? I don't know what if we walk different. I don't know what it is. They can just tell. It's a smell from us. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. Like every time I go somewhere and like on like a trip and people ask where I'm from, I do say Boston. I was in Disney actually a couple years ago and I was wearing a Pats t-shirt. And I remember, you know how you go through security before you enter the park? You go to the thing, and then the guy was like, "Oh, like are you from Boston?" I was like, "Yeah," and he shook my hand. He was like, "Linfield." I was like, "Oh, Revere!" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "What the heck? You're in Orlando? You know where that is?" Because I didn't have to say just Boston. You know what I mean? Because at the end, you know what's so crazy? It's like people say, "Oh, Boston, oh, Mike's Pastry, oh, this," and like
Exactly.
I know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like I grew up around the corner from
Right.
Mike's Pastry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though my family did, I didn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Yeah.
you know, I just always found that so funny. So yeah, I think on a trip, I'm from Boston.
Right.
When I'm in Boston, I'm from Revere.
Exactly.
There, you
More
know what I
specific.
mean? Exactly. Be a bit more specific. I think from our friends' like point of view though, like I always wanted to ask them like if we're like Boston to them.
Right.
Like
exactly.
if they go home and they talk to their friends from home, like, oh, my friends Dom and Moose, like they're from Boston, they're like this. I wonder if they use us as like.
We should ask them.
I know we need to ask them that because I just always found that funny because like whenever I try to like describe a true Bostonian, I don't talk about myself.
No,
I bring
right.
out my older brothers
Right.
because they truly are.
Mhm.
So I always just wondered like if. I hope not, because we're really not like we just
yeah, exactly.
yeah, we're
You're
not.
absolutely right.
And you know what's so funny too is speaking about our friends and their like point of view on us, like I don't hear my accent.
See,
I hear yours
I
though.
think that's crazy.
That's the thing. I know certain words bring out mine.
Okay, that's
Like
fair.
I know every time I say father, I say it like that. I don't pronounce the R. I don't know. It's like certain words that come out I can hear, but all my friends are like, oh, you have a Boston accent. You say Revere. I'm like, I don't say that. Like, you know what I mean? But I can hear yours when you speak. Like every time we hang out, I hear it.
Really?
It's subtle.
I think you should tell me next time, just so I'm like,
Yeah.
like.
But you don't
No,
hear yours, right?
I don't.
Yeah,
I have
same
no
with
idea.
me.
I'd say I don't even have a Boston accent.
Yeah, same with me. I don't hear mine. Like I joke around all the time.
Sure,
I'm like,
exactly.
I'm from Revere,
Yeah.
kid. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just to make
It's
people
sensual.
laugh.
Oh,
Yeah, to make it dramatic. But yeah, no, all of our friends like.
That's
They're
crazy.
like, oh, your accent or yada yada. They say a word I just said. I'm like, I didn't even say it like that.
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking about, kid?
Kid.
I said kid. You see, it's an actual
K-E-H-D.
K-E-H-D. You see, things like that, they go into our lingo. I don't know. You see, growing up like that, it was from I'm telling you, back to my older brothers. That's how they spoke.
Exactly.
That's how I was raised. Both of my parents, their English isn't their first language. It's Arabic, so they don't really have a Boston accent. We spoke up. Whoa. We grew up speaking Arabic and English at home, but you know, from my older brothers, they have such a heavy Boston accent, like their lingo. It was sort of engraved in me as well. So things like that just slip out. I bet you there's some people from Boston right now just cringing. They're like, oh my god, why are these people talking? They're like, shut up, you don't know. They're like, you know nothing. I think actually something fun we can do is I went online and I found basically 12 slang phrases from Boston that we gave the rest of America. And I think we should just go through them and see if we even use them. I mean, I already saw them a bit earlier. I really don't use them, but we're gonna see. All right. The first one is wicked pissa.
See, I do say wicked, like
Me too.
but
Yeah.
I have zero idea what wicked pissa means.
Yeah, it says as in. So if you're gonna use it in like a sentence, Yanuka's a wicked pissa. Even though it sounds like your friend is insulting you, this is the height of compliments in Boston. I've heard it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard it. Like I've seen it on like T-shirts and stuff. I've never said wicked pissa. I say wicked a lot just to emphasize it.
I do too.
It's a compliment. Who knows? Skiza, Tool, and Igot. I'm saying that wrong. I've heard Skiza.
Meaning?
So Skiza means drug addict.
Oh,
okay.
Didn't know that one.
I did not know that one. Tool. I say tool sometimes. It means asshole, basically.
I did know that.
Yeah, I'm like, you're such a tool.
I will. Yeah,
And
that's
then-
right. My dad will use that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but Igot means idiot.
Huh.
That is deep, like South Boston.
Yeah, I
Probably
did.
use
Yeah,
that.
probably.
Bang. Another casually aggressive Boston term, as in it means to turn. Oh, yeah, I use this like bang a Yui.
Oh, bang a left.
Yeah, bang a left, bang a Yui.
Yeah,
I use that. Okay, I was like bang. I was like, okay. Yeah, I use bang a Yui. Pala. Do you say Pala or living room?
My family does.
Yeah, your family does. My older brother, I heard him say it, and I was like, what?
Is that Italian or is it Boston? Or is it both?
It says refers to parlor or living room of the house. This is where the family typically gathers. So yeah, the living room.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pala. Yeah.
I say living room. My older brothers. I've heard them say Pala. They're probably gonna hear this and make no, we don't. Down the Cape. This refers to Cape Cod, the most popular place to hang out in the summer. You can't go up to the Cape because it doesn't exist.
Fair.
No,
I do. Yeah.
But no shit though. Like the Cape is.
True.
Who
But
says
it's like,
going up to the Cape?
Let's tidbit. Do you even go to the Cape?
Growing up, no. No.
Right. Exactly. Right.
No.
So
I've been like
right.
once, twice.
So being from the North Shore, luckily enough, we have the beaches that are, for me, like 10 minutes. You live on a beach. Revere is the Revere Beach.
No, go to that beach.
Well, whatever.
It's not like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's not, yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
But yeah, I think it's funny because, like, So our friends that live in like the western part of the state, or even south, like towards like Walpole.
Yeah. He knows what he's talking about.
They have to go to Cape Cod, and it's like an hour and something away.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're spoiled up here. We can just day trip 15 minutes, go down to Gloucester, go to Good Harbor.
Good Harbor.
You're there.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely. Nahant Beach isn't far at all. It's gorgeous. I love that beach. And so,
Nahant is
wait,
really nice.
so your first time was with like our friends, right? Like you went,
exactly.
I think they were telling me that.
I think I went to the Cape maybe once, like when I was like younger, maybe high school, like
me
that.
too.
But like besides that, like we just don't. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not like let's go to Cape Cod.
Until recently, when I will go all the time just because our friends. The Cape is really nice.
Oh yeah,
it is.
It's
gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a hypocrite because I work for an airline and we fly down to the Cape. Never been to the Cape.
That's funny. I
probably shouldn't be telling people that, but I'm like, I'm like, P-Town's awesome. Never been, but literally. But no. So I think down to the Cape is very appropriate because it is south. Donkeys. I don't say donkeys.
I say donkeys.
You say dunk. It bothers me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I say dunks.
Oh.
I say Dunkin' Donuts. I know they changed their name where it's just like Dunkin'.
Yeah.
I don't say Dunk. I say Dunks, or I say Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know.
No, Dunks. Let's go with Donkeys. No, I thought I said Donkeys.
You say Donkeys?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Something with Donkeys just doesn't sit right on my tongue. Same with chicken nuggies. Like when people say like, "Oh, I'm making chicken nuggies," it hurts. I'm like, no,
stop.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Spa. A pizza, sandwich, and convenience store all rolled into one. A true Bostonian might say, go get supper at Town Spa.
Oh, shit.
This is probably another South Boston.
I got nothing here. Got nothing.
No. This is probably, that's a true Bostonian person that says that. Burritos. I didn't know how to say that. Read how this says. I was about to pronounce that. It's weird. Burritos. So, potatoes. I didn't know that was a Boston thing. I just thought
potatoes.
Yeah, I just thought my older brothers didn't know how to speak, so that's how they just.
I thought my grandpa said the same thing.
Potatoes. Okay, so potatoes. That is a Boston thing. No, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is really bad. It comes out all the time. I'm like, no, sir. Like, and that's from my family too. That is
I don't say that. My mom says that.
Your mom says it comes out in that time. I hear my friends' parents say it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if they're really like, "What? You're crazy. What do you mean?" Like, "No, sir."
Yeah.
So don't I. Another nonsensical phrase. This one means me too.
Yeah, I do say that. I just thought I was an idiot.
I say it. I didn't think it was a Boston thing though.
I just thought I didn't speak English.
Rippa. It means a kegger, a huge party, something you don't want to miss.
I say Ripper as a joke, like, oh, let's do it the Ripper, but like that's not. I didn't think that. Like, I thought I was making fun of myself.
I've never heard that before. So it means a party.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I might use it. The hub.
Like banger, like Ripper.
Oh, like a Ripper. Yeah. I like it. I might start using it now. The hub, never Beantown. I never called it the hub.
But you know that restaurant called Top of the Hub? It's a really nice restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's. I don't know.
You know what closed?
What closed?
The Top of the Hub.
They closed?
Yeah.
No shit.
I think like last April.
Wow.
I think I think more than that.
No way.
Yeah, Top of the Hub. I mean, if I'm wrong, like let me know, guys. I mean, it's a very nice restaurant. Like,
it is. Right.
Perfect for like anniversary things. It's so freaking nice, but I'm pretty sure it's closed.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe they call it that. I mean, I don't say Beantown.
I don't say Beantown.
Yeah,
either,
I say
unfortunately
town. Like I was saying earlier, city going into town. But yeah, I mean, those were it.
That's
I mean,
funny.
majority of them. I've heard all of them except one.
Yeah.
I don't use majority of them,
Right,
but the
true.
ones that I do
agree.
use often. It's in my vocabulary a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, going off of that, I think, our lingo, our way of life is completely different, just like how we grew up. Obviously not like a true Bostonian, but being very close to it, we do have that, exactly. I can speak from my experience, being from Revere. I think, growing up, like we were just talking about this off mic a little bit. When I was growing up in that city, I feel like I was exposed to a lot, positive and negative. I feel like, being from that town, like especially when I was growing up, it was very old. The best way I can describe it to someone who's not from around it, very old school. A lot of Italian, a lot of like old school. Like if you watch like I don't know, like in my own mind, it's like The Godfather, like things like that, like those ideals, those morals, Goodfellas, Sopranos, very like that.
Yeah.
Everyone knew each other. They knew your parents. They knew your sister, your friends. Like you're walking down the street, someone beeps at you and says hi. Always like that. And then from like a diversity point of view, there wasn't a whole lot when I was growing up. It was sort of up and coming. Like I can say I was part of that, even though I was born in in America. I can say I was point of that. I was in that point in my city where like things started to shift a little bit from like how it used to be back in the day, which is a completely good thing. I mean, I don't think it's bad at all. I would be a hypocrite if I thought that was bad. But you know, I can just think back to there was a point I remember in like 4th, 5th grade. Like I was probably one of the only like minority, I guess you could say, in my town, like, and then maybe 1, 2, 3 other kids in the whole class, and then now though, my nieces and nephews, their classes, it's like a globe. Everyone, their parents are from different,
that's beautiful though.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's amazing, and I think it's a good thing because I think when you're exposed to that, you learn a lot, and you learn like I think you learn like. You know, like the city where you're from isn't the only city in the world. There are people from different parts of the world that come in, which is a positive thing. I think when you're exposed to that, you learn about other people and ways of life. I think that's a great thing. I'm really happy I grew up in such an area like that. Yeah. So there are people who don't.
Yeah, you're like me. Yeah. Like I'm jealous of that. Like because Damas it's a bunch of white kids. Like, to be honest, like I'm very fortunate to live in Damas. So it's like a middle class. It's a very nice area.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like I didn't get to experience like the diversity that I've always wanted to. You know what I mean?
And would you say until college or high school?
Oh, until college. Because when I went to Bridgewater, it was like different. Because like it was like the diversity of Bridgewater was great. Yeah. And I learned a lot, and it was awesome. Like so many different cultures. Like it was great. Like I learned so much about the Cape Verdean culture.
Oh yeah.
Like Cape Verdeans, like there's a lot in like the New Bedford area.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful culture.
Yeah, of course.
But and then I came back up here because like I said, North Shore, Magnet, never want to leave again.
we literally go to college on the North Shore. That's sad. Like we're like not leaving. Yeah, I remember when I was picking colleges, I was like, I've said this in other conversations, but like I was like, I want to go to UNH, and I got it. I was like, I'm going to UNH.
Let's go to UMass.
Let's go anywhere else. But then we're still on the North Shore. We didn't leave. I know. You know what, Dom? I think Malibu is a good trip. I think we need to get away. I think for a couple weeks, and I'm like, all right, let's go home now. You know what I mean? Just to miss it, like for real. Cause that's crazy. We live in the North Shore and we go to school in the North Shore.
Work in the North Shore. At least you bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, I had. Yeah. Well, my first job was in Faneuil Hall in Boston.
No shit.
Yeah. 14 under the table, cash,
exactly.
Illegal. It was nice. I was getting money. Get money at 14. So I worked at those. You know those kiosks. How they have outside and inside. Yeah. Thank God I worked on one inside because like I didn't get hit by the rain and stuff. But we sold like Boston sports stuff and like T-shirts and hats and shot glasses.
Tourists, man.
Yeah, I know. Literally, everything was overpriced, and like I literally sat how I'm sitting in a chair right now on my phone. I just waited for people to come by, like just to buy stuff. I hope my old boss isn't like listening to like this. You know, they made it seem like I was such a good worker. No, she didn't hear anything. But yeah, no, like at 14, I was working in the city. Yeah. And then after that, I've been at the airport since. Yeah. Right. And I just thought it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege because I'm just like, I can travel. I meet so many different people. I've met so many cool like celebrities and things like that. So it was always such a cool thing. Like, if I didn't live around here, I would not have that same. Like I know people that go to Bridgewater that I work with and drive almost an hour and a half to work at Boston Logan, just because like they're in like I know Bridgewater has a huge aviation program, and they want to be pilots, so they don't want to work at a small airport. Like I think New Bedford has one.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, so they want to work at Logan because it's bigger. So I just found that crazy. I'm like, wow, I drive 10-15 minutes to work. Not even. You're right. Like if my shift is at 1, I leave at 12:40.
That's great.
And I'm like, all right, like, let's go. They leave at 11. Going into Boston. Right. Literally crazy. And even working at, the kiosk back when I was so long ago. I can't believe I'm 20. That was 6 years ago. Oh shit, my God. All right. I know. Literally flash from the past. But yeah, I would take the subway in. And I remember just being like 14. I remember my dad gave me like such good advice when I was, because I grew up like on the subway all the time. Like it became second nature just to hop on the train. But I remember when I started to go alone a lot, he was like, because being from a city, there are some bad things. I don't want to say some bad, but there are bad people everywhere. And he always taught me like, present yourself, like don't mess with me. Right. Like when I was 14, I think I looked 13. Like he was like, he's like sit up straight, like your head up, like don't make eye contact with anyone. He was like, if you have your headphones in, then like keep them low so you hear everything around you. That's he's like advice. Like walk. She's like present yourself like if you want to do something, don't mess with me. Even though I probably could have punched to save my life, he was like, you need to present yourself like that. And
just
that's
the image.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's honestly very true because, growing up in like a city and you're going on the subway, I would come home sometimes like 9:30, 10 at night. Like, I'm a kid. You have to do that. Like, you have to present. So, like I said, that's something I would have never learned if I was never from here. Yeah. So even though I had to do it for a negative reason, it was a positive aspect because it taught me like, it kind of transferred into like just how you present yourself every single day.
Confidence.
Like, you walk up straight. Like, like my dad's thing was like shaking people's hand was like so important to my father. I don't know why. He was like, you give them a firm grease. Like, you look right in their eye. He was like, you have to like, I don't know why. It was just he was huge on like, I don't know. He just put in my head at like a young age. He's like, listen. He's like, we're not from America. He's like, you were born here. He's like, you need to. He's like, I understand you're Americans, but you need to understand there are people that might see you in a different way, and you can't give them a reason to crap on you, or whatever. He's like, so you hold yourself to high standards. You be confident. You do this. You do that. And that's honestly one of the best things that my dad ever taught me. Because I'm just like,
absolutely right.
I take it with me now. You know what I mean?
Very similar. I mean, my family's from off the boat from Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, a little different, but also a little the same. Like the whole the handshake, expressing dominance and confidence.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely understand. Yeah, and it's actually really funny. Like I have to do a whole episode on like culture and stuff too, because it's just so funny. But like, no, like I think that whole area, like my parents are from like North Africa, and the whole like Italian thing, it's very similar.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Different cultures, but very similar. Like
just kind of crossing
ways of life. Yeah, exactly. Growing up it all ties back to being from Boston. Like you meet people who are like that. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I first met you. Crap, how did I meet you again?
Was it a party? Probably like.
Do you remember how we met?
Ricky's house.
Pat and Ben and Ricky's house now. Yeah, I remember. Didn't I say something really dumb to you?
You always say that, and I really don't remember that.
I think I know
we've had this conversation before.
I'm not gonna say what it was, but I said something stupid, and I felt so dumb. I remember like I shook your hand, and you were like, "Huh?" Like I don't know. I brought up something that didn't happen.
Oh, you were like, "Oh, you're dumb." You blah 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 happened. Like something happened. Like you like told me the situation that I did that I don't think that happened.
It must have been a different Dominic. I don't know.
Absolutely.
You looked at me. I was like, you were like, no. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. That was so bad.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then I think the first conversation we had though was at Sebastian's house. Well, your apartment now as well, but you were over.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the first time
exactly.
we talked. And I remember we clicked, and I think before you even told me you were from Danvers, I just knew you were from around here.
Yeah.
I can just tell. I think you truly can't tell just the way like you presented yourself and the way you were talking to me. I'm like, oh, he's from the North Shore. As soon as you said Danvers, I'm like, oh, he's my neighbor. He's around the corner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because you didn't even have to speak.
We do have to say a click.
Yeah, almost. We just clicked, and I tell you this all the time. Me and you, like I was like, I'm so happy I met you because we are on the same headspace. Personally, I think I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very aware. No, I swear to God, I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very like aware, and I think you're very I think you see life the same way I do. I remember when I met you, I'm like, thank God I met this dude because like I haven't met a friend like that in a long time. So it was like. Always looking awesome.
Man, I appreciate that.
No, of course.
That's nice.
It's because you're from Danvers.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
If you weren't from the North Shore, so absolutely
different.
Not. Another thing I think we can jump into. We just had a really emotional moment. Sorry, guys. But I think another thing we can jump into is, New England as a whole.
Oh, like the best sport teams.
Best sport. We don't even have to argue. A lot of people are gonna get mad that we just said that. They're not from around here. I don't care. It's the truth. Even though Tom Brady's not with us anymore,
he still gave us 6 Super Bowl rings.
Exactly, 20 years.
6, whatever it was. 6. Yeah.
Okay. 20 years sacrificed himself. Guys, we're gonna have a whole sports episode. Don't get me wrong, but we can't talk about being from Boston and not talk about the sports teams. Mm-hmm. I can speak about football. I think the Pats. I would say I'm a Pats fan, not a football fan. I've been getting into a football fan the past couple. I think since high school. Like I've always been a Pats fan, just being from Boston. But I think I've always watched like Pats games stuff. But I've been watching like other teams. Not now during coronavirus, but you know what I mean. Back when life was normal. Literally. So I would watch like a Vikings game every now and then, or like even like the New York. I don't want to talk about New York, but you know what I mean. I would watch like their games too. You know what's so funny though? Baseball. Never been to a Red Sox game in my life.
You ever been to a Sox game?
Never been to. I've been to Fenway for concerts.
Okay.
Never been to a Sox game. But baseball is the one sport. People say it's very boring to watch on TV and stuff. Baseball is the one sport I can have on the background of my room all day and not get sick of.
No way.
I can watch like a Red Sox game, a Yankees game, whatever you want. Like, and I won't be bored.
Right.
Just because I don't know something about the sport. I don't know what it is. A lot of people find it boring.
Yeah.
Is it boring to you? Or?
I played baseball in high school. I'd love to play. I could probably watch like 6 innings and then be like, this is kind of. Or I could watch it the first 3 and the last 3.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do get what you're saying. I love going to the Sox game.
Yeah.
Like going to Fenway Park. Yeah. Like that's.
And I wish. No, I can't wait to experience it when things fully open back up. Because I've been to a concert there, and it was like, I'm like, wow, I want to go here for like, it's mad awesome. Red Sox T-shirts and jerseys. Sure. Like, I don't wear them anywhere else, so I'm like, I need to go. But yeah, no, like I think just the whole like nostalgia thing I want to experience. Because like I've been to Gillette, I've been to Patriots Place many times.
Yep.
Haven't been to a Pats game. Really want to freaking go.
So
it's broken my heart.
I've been to, I think, one. It's like, it was sick.
I know, it's so sick. Dope, exactly, though. Like, I've been to July. Like, I've like stood on the turf and stuff. It's so, yeah, I stood on the turf, yeah. It's such a cool thing, and I'm just like, damn, I wish this was a Patriots game. This would be crazy. I've been to a couple Celtics games with my older brother. I've been to a Bruins game. Those are a lot of fun.
Those are a blast. Yeah. Those are a blast.
TD Garden is a lot of fun. Do you remember this? I might be going crazy, but was TD Garden named something else when we were kids?
I don't know.
Do you know? I don't know, guys. Let me know if it was. I think it was called TD Bank North. I remember it being called that when I was a kid. Because I would go when I was young at like 8. That's what it was called. And now it's just TD Garden.
You're probably right, though.
I don't know, guys. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right. But yeah, just the whole like nostalgia, like going to like a Celtics game. And like, have you been to a Bruins game?
Yeah. No. Maybe.
They had this cool thing like during like the hockey games where they have like a scream meter. So like the whole like stadium like screams and it breaks. Like I remember just being 9 like screaming. I was like, yeah, I didn't even know a thing about hockey. I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? But it's just like a whole like nostalgia thing that I look back at. I'm like, damn, like that's so cool. Like I got to experience that from being from Boston. What was the year, Dom, where I don't know, but it was like the Pats were on a roll, the Red Sox were on a roll, the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, like. I remember
was it 11? That's 2011.
Maybe 11. I remember it was like it was just like back to back to back, and like New England was just like dominating
absolutely
everything.
Dominant.
And even though it's the Boston Red Sox, I would say they represent New England.
Yeah, they do.
There isn't a team in Maine.
I guess.
So it's crazy to me how like 4 sports teams literally dominate an entire region of the country.
You're right. So Maine is probably like this, like the whatever, doing like Pats fan, whatever. So we got Maine, New Hampshire probably, right?
Vermont
probably. But Connecticut's kind of like, they do a little bit of New York.
Yes, half of them are New York, half of them are Boston, yeah.
I'm assuming Rhode Island is probably all like Pats fans and stuff.
It has to be, yeah.
So that's pretty insane. No wonder why we're so good.
Yeah, exactly. People just they're just mad. They're just jealous. Exactly.
Right.
I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next.
Well, now we got Cam Newton.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's gonna be a blast.
I know a lot of people like aren't happy. There are a lot of people who are happy. I want to see what's gonna happen. Because
I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited. Me too. I'm excited to see where that comes from. And hopefully I'll go to a Pats game. We'll see Cam Newton play live.
We'll go to Malibu. We'll go to a Pats game. What do you think?
Thank you. Guys, we're gonna fly to Malibu. We'll do a podcast in Malibu on the beach, and then we'll go to a Pats game, and we're gonna let you know how that was after this. You've been though, right? When you were a kid?
Yeah, I went to a Pats game. No, I went like I think like maybe my senior year of high school. So it was like recent.
Is that the year we went to the Super Bowl? We went 2 years in a row, right? We didn't win.
I'm a bit shit on right now.
I know. I have horrible memory too. I was a junior in high school when we went. So I was a junior.
Yeah, okay. I don't think.
And when we won junior year, that was the crazy year. That was when we almost didn't win.
Yes.
That was against Atlanta.
Yes.
That was the year we didn't win. And then senior year, I don't think we won. Did we win? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But we're gonna go to one in the future.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I just think too, like. You know, on the topic of sports, like being from Boston, like anyone in the country knows what Fenway Park is.
Exactly.
Like you say Fenway Park, you know Red Sox. Even people in New York, like because the whole rivalry they've
had. It's pretty cool though, like the rivalry we have against New York. Like,
it's sick.
It's so like authentic and so like back in the day, like Sox Yankees.
Yeah, like awesome. Literally. So and like Fenway Park, Green Monster, Boston Red Sox, that they have like that whole beef with the Yankees. So like. To have that sort of dominance as a city, though, it's just crazy. But I always just found it funny too how like people around the country can't speak English, guys. Very sorry. People around the country, they see New York City. Like I feel like the top 3 cities in America, in my opinion, that everyone knows is New York City.
Yep.
I would say L.A.
L.A. Absolutely.
I would throw in Chicago.
Chicago.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you agree, or do you have anything else that I'm missing?
I think like DC.
DC, obviously.
But that's kind of obvious. And then maybe, I don't know. Maybe Detroit. Detroit Tigers. Whatever.
Maybe, yeah. But never Boston.
Right.
Never
Sometimes.
Boston.
I feel like that's like a close 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But in my opinion, like, it's on the it's on the coast.
Right.
So is LA. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a coastal city, too.
I think we may get overshadowed by New York a little bit.
I think so.
I hate to say that out loud.
Because we're close.
Because we're close.
Yeah, because it's only a 4-hour drive. Unless my dad can get there in 3 hours, it's kind of scary. But, yeah, it's only a 4-hour drive. But, yeah, like...
Everybody knows New York.
Exactly. And, Boston is just, I love this city. I love being, like I just said earlier, I love being from here. And, like, I remember when I went to New York, I've gone to New York a lot because I have a lot of family in Jersey. Yeah. And, so being from there, like, we'd always stop in New York and go through New York and things like that. So I remember just, like, I was, like, 14, 15, or 16. I forgot. Horrible memory, like I just said. But I remember just walking in New York. I'm like, this is too much. This is way too much. I could never live there.
No, I was, when I got tattooed, I went to New York for one time for like a tattoo convention, blah, blah, blah.
Guys, Dom has the sickest tattoos in the world.
False.
No, very sick. Keep going.
But like after one of the conventions or whatever, me and my cousin, we went to, the fuck's like Manhattan, what's the middle? Like everyone goes to. Times Square.
Times Square, yeah.
And it was like maybe 1:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Shit was still like live.
Yeah.
Like it really, like the city
that never sleeps.
And that is a fact.
Absolutely.
I thought there was like kids that are like probably like 6. It's like 2 in the morning. They're still like running around. I'm like this is crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm like literally, and it's always so funny because like in Boston, if you go out at like 1 a.m., that's when like.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go out.
The creatures of the night come out. No, I've been in Boston. I'm not gonna tell the story. Very embarrassing. We don't want to hear it, but it was very late. Should have been home. I forgot what it was, honestly, but I remember just like the people that came out.
It's different.
It was like right when the club started to close.
Ooh.
And like everyone was just like a mess, and it was all
Stumbling,
hazy. It's like scary. It looks like The Walking Dead. You're like, what the hell is going on? But in New York, you're right. Like their family's still out, like enjoying the night, and I don't know. It was just overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Because I'm just like
so bright.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like New York City, like Boston. Like you can drive 10 minutes and you're in like a normal town.
That's fair.
New York City, you drive 10 minutes, you're in Queens, a whole other city. Sure. You're in Brooklyn, a whole other city. You're in the Bronx, a whole other city. Like all the boroughs, like you don't get an escape a little bit until you go to like Jersey. I think that's why a lot of my family live in Jersey, because like if they're not far from New York City, but they drive away to go to their homes. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But yeah, I could never. Absolutely not. I think Boston is all the way to go. Even.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, that's why I kind of want to live, like I said, or like I was saying earlier, I want to like live still in the North Shore in this area because I want. I'm literally 20 and I'm talking about kids. Like it's making me sick. Like in all honesty, like I do want my kids or whoever I'm with, like to have a similar experience as you know what I mean? No, absolutely.
No, I do agree.
Yeah, I just think because think about it, like if I've raised like a family in like middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? They didn't get that same experience. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think about the future too much.
You're right.
It's a really bad thing.
That is a valid point. I think like it's very valid.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, North Shore, Boston, whatever it may be, I think we're all from the same area. People from around here can know when they're from around here. Like I said, with me and Dom, I knew Dom was from around here. The second the second me and him met, actually I got a good look at not the first conversation, but the actual real conversation we had. I was like, he's definitely from around here.
For sure, man.
But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is the first episode of Moose Tracks Podcast. Please comment down below. Let me know what you guys liked. Let me know what you guys didn't like. Don't forget to give this video a like. Wow, hopefully I'll learn to speak English a bit more in these other videos. Please subscribe to the channel. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna have a fan base, but I gotta think of like a name. The Moose Clan. We're gonna figure that out. Moose Clan. Nah, we'll think about something. We'll think about something better. But thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first episode. I can't wait to give you guys more. We got a couple cool more episodes on the way. Like I said, don't forget to comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if we want to have our boy Dom back again for a new episode. He's definitely come back. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys. Peace out.